You know, I bet if you asked most workplace shooters why they did it, they'd tell you they were sick of hearing fucking morons make small talk in the break room. But why risk death by cop or life in prison when you can drown out your workplace misery with a fresh episode of the Savage Sacktap? I'm talking peanut allergies, gay chat rooms, Liz Hurley's tits, and much more. And it starts right now.
You're listening to the Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Greetings, my fuckers, and welcome to another episode of the Savage Sacktap. Mike Montone here to offend, entertain, perhaps inform, and I don't fucking know. Love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day, so we're going to talk all about what to do if you find out that your boyfriend has been frequenting gay chat rooms. We're getting into this whole allergy shaming craze that's been going on, and much, much more stupidity from around the world and around the internet. First, though, as you know, I am a voracious reader. So every once in a while, I do like, this is my new thing now. I'm just going to share shit from books that I've been reading. So let me pimp you a little something real quick. I'm actually reading, it's called the New York Times #1 bestseller, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, by Mark Manson. It's definitely an interesting one, worth checking out. I'm not doing a fucking book review, but it's a good book, and it's just kind of about really essentially how to interact with yourself and interact with society and whatever the fuck. But what I want to get to is a passage here on it's page 157. He's talking about how he used to have anxiety when approaching women. He says he struggled with social anxiety throughout much of his adolescence and young adult life. And he says, I had all sorts of screwed up beliefs about this, like that you weren't allowed to speak to someone unless you had some practical reason to, or that women would think I was a creepy rapist if I so much as said hello. Yeah, welcome to the year 2018, where that is in fact true. There have been some polls coming out that young people, like millennials, I guess millennials, but I guess we're fading into whatever it is, Generation Z or the generation after millennials, whoever the fuck they are. The hot new attitude on the streets, thanks to Me Too and all this other shit, is that approaching a woman at a bar, talking to them, offering them a drink, whatever, actually is considered by many of them to be some sort of fucking rapey, creepy, Me Too-ish shit. So it's amazing when you see stuff like that. This is a very pragmatic book written before the Me Too movement, before any of that shit would have come out. When you hear from a reasonable, rational person, and then you see the exact opposite reflected, or the exact opposite. Exactly what he was saying was causing him this anxiety. I'm going to approach a woman, try to strike up a convo at a bar, coffee shop, wherever, and she's going to treat me like I'm a fucking rapist. That's exactly where we have fucking landed. And apparently, the day before Valentine's Day is now it's hashtag Galentine's Day. I guess this is from Parks and Rec. I never watched Parks and Rec that much, but one, because I just can't fucking stand Aziz, and we'll get more on that later. Actually, I got a little bit of I did an Aziz piece. They call it a piece in journalism. How gay! This is stupid. A piece. I talked about Aziz for the Goonery and all the fuckery surrounding him and his weirdo claw fucking sexual technique. But I never really watched Parks and Rec. It just wasn't my show. The Office just did it so much better. But it's, not bad. Funny episodes, but just not my overwhelming cup of tea. I feel like they tried to get a little too hip with it, and I can't stand hip things. Fucking anything hip is for douchebags. Fucking assholes. But yeah, where the fuck was I? Yeah, it was Galentine Day. I don't know what the fuck that is. I guess it started as a joke from TV, and now it's been it's been woven into this whole Me Too bullshit. And I don't know. I was going at it with feminists on Twitter. I don't think they realize that when I crack some stupid joke on Twitter and they get all fucking riled up about it, I'm not bothered. Like, I don't, you tell me I'm mansplaining or try to throw it back. I don't give a fuck. I'm on Twitter to fuck around and follow porn stars and comedians so I can see my two favorite things, which is fucking tits and laughter. I don't give a shit if some fucking fema cunt fucking throws something in my face after I tweeted. Get the fuck out of here, fucking morons. Idiots. Fucking dummies. We live in the dumbest fucking society ever. Anyway, that's, Galentine's Day. I guess the purpose of Galentine's Day is that women take a day to just hang out with each other and be good to their friends. It just speaks to how fucking mentally fragile a lot of chicks are, that they can't just be friends with their friends. They need a special day to do it. You know when guys are friends with their friends? Every day. We don't, fucking erect these ridiculous days to ourselves, and it's Galentine's Day, so just mimosas and everything, and we're gonna take the day off work and get some brunch. Shut the fuck, you fucking broads. Idiots. This is why no one takes you seriously. It must be so hard to be a well-adjusted woman in the year 2018. The rest of your gender must look fucking absurd. But anyway, Galentine's Day. Speaking of women who look fantastic, Liz Hurley, 52 years old, and she is busting out the big guns on social media. You got to get a look at these pics. She's looking nice. They've been making the rounds. She posts them. It's not like a creepy fucking the fappening or anything like that. It's just Liz Hurley decided she wanted to let everyone know that she was still bringing it, and man, did she bring it. 52. This, by the way, is why I watch so much MILF porn. If you're not into that genre, you are fucking missing out. Give me an afternoon alone with Lisa Ann, Alexis Monroe, a nice big bag of Coke, and a bottle of lube. Please. Liz Hurley. Shagadelic, baby. You can find those pics on our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Savage Crew. You can also find us on a bunch of other social media platforms. On Twitter, I am at Mike Montone, and on the Instagram that all the kids love, it's at Gary_Moiler. And please follow, share with your friends. We could certainly use the exposure. Also appearing on social media, how about this bullshit? Apparently, food allergy shaming. Now a thing. The new Peter Rabbit film facing a boycott over a scene in which he and his friends hurl blackberries at a character knowing he is allergic to them. The scene has prompted a furious backlash, with some people accusing the filmmakers of creating a movie that encourages food allergy bullying. Oh my. The filmmakers in the studio, Sony Pictures, what fucking cucks over there? Just fucking caving and bending the knee to these jackasses. They've apologized following the outcry. I want to know, I need to see a giant Venn diagram of all of the people on the planet with some kind of food allergy, and I need to see where it intersects with those who actually give a fuck about food allergy bullying, to the degree where they use the term, they've created the term. There was no food allergy bullying when I was growing up. If a kid had an allergy, like, whoa, wait, what happens? Wait, you eat shellfish and your head turns into a fucking basketball? And that was it. But now it's food allergy bullying. Sony Pictures have apologized following the outcry over the scene in which Mr. McGregor's nephew Thomas is forced to use an EpiPen as a result of the attack. Oh, it's just like Pulp Fiction. They show up, the fucking Thomas see him speed. It's Peter Rabbit, so I'm assuming they drive around in like a fucking carriage or something like that. because it's olden times. He's just riding the kalash down some fucking wobbly country road, and he shows up at the farmer's market where they have all the fucking berries, and pulls the body out in the front lawn. He's going to the fucking farmer. Where's the fucking EpiPen? You gotta fucking do something. And they jam it into his fucking heart on the lawn, and he wakes up. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If not, let's just hope Marcellus Wallace doesn't find out what these rabbits did to Mr. McGregor, because he is not going to be fucking happy. Anyway, it came the boycott comes after the charity group Kids with Food Allergies posted a warning about the scene on social media, and then wrote a letter to filmmakers. That's some old school fucking... That's what they used to do to, like, Opie and Anthony, like those fucking family coalitions. But it was usually because, they said the word cock on air or something like that, or whatever the fuck. And they would bombard the station with letters. But fuck, they have their own hashtag. Everyone's got their own fucking hashtag. This is the second hashtag I'm mentioning in this episode. I'm not happy about that. Hashtag boycott Peter Rabbit. I saw the report on CBS News. The article I just read from was Sky News, but it's everywhere. But why are we giving these fucking lunatics a platform? Like, how are you not in that production meeting and someone's like, hey, they got this boycott Peter Rabbit thing going on. We should really jump on this. And how does someone not raise their hand and say, actually, Todd, you're a fucking idiot, and that sounds stupid. And then we could just not give these morons any room to voice these idiotic concerns that wind up fucking people out of a movie they want to see. People that worked hard on the movie. People, you know what? You don't want... If you think that your kid's gonna fucking bully someone with allergies, fucking teach him to be a better human being. Jesus. Why haven't... I mean, it seems like every fucking kid has an allergy these days, too. When I was growing up, there was, like I said, it was amazing if you came across someone with a fucking allergy. Like, my cousin's got food allergies. He was literally one of the only people I knew growing up who had a legitimate food allergy. I'm not talking about, like, you fucking get a bee sting, your fucking arm blows. That happens to a lot of people. I'm talking about fucking food allergy. I knew almost no one, and now you hear about it's like every fucking kid has a fucking nut. It's nuts. Nut allergy. It's literally nuts, and they're all allergic to nuts. But it's fucking insane. Like, if I was ISIS, I'd be like, fuck, why are we worrying about getting fucking bombs and shit? Let's just carry peanut oil everywhere and just have your guys spray children with it. You could be taking out fucking scores of them in every city every day. Just find where the fucking vent to the school is. Fuck getting your hands on anthrax. What do you fucking need chemical weapons for? Go to the fucking grocery store. They're right there. Aisle 7, $3.95. Smucker's blends it with jelly. Mask the taste a little bit. Little shit won't even know what's coming. Ugh. And this is why... Also, the gun control argument is completely unnecessary. Remember, they used to make it harder to get guns. The terrorists just started fucking driving cars into people. You think cracking down on guns could prevent school shootings? Good. Now the fucking school bully's just gonna the disgruntled kid in class is gonna load up on a fucking bag of circus peanuts, and he's gonna get a pea shooter. He's just gonna walk around pelting kids, and he's gonna take out half the fucking 5th grade class because apparently no one can eat a fucking nut anymore. What fucking world do we live in? Everyone is just so dumb. You know what the problem is? We wouldn't have as many kids with nut allergies if less people were procreating. Like, most people shouldn't be creating other people and raising them into adults. We are just surrounded by fucking idiots, and this is what we get. We get hashtag boycott Peter Rabbit, because in a movie that is filled with the rabbits trying to kill their enemy and their enemy trying to kill the rabbit, these morons honed in on the fact that they were trying to take advantage of his physical weakness, the food allergy, to kill him. Shouldn't they be happy that there's the allergic community is even represented in this movie? By all means, it sounds like it's fucking raising awareness. Anyway. What else? Barstool Sports, probably one of my favorite websites that I visit every day, and if any of you Barstool editors are listening, give your boy a shout. Love a new gig. Anyway, but they posted, I guess they one of the writers found this on Twitter, and it's, you wake up in 1918, what job are you qualified to do? So I was looking at it, and I was thinking, I am, a man in the prime of his life, good physical shape, barrel-chested, very masculine. So I feel like I could probably do well working in one of those old-timey gyms where they have, what's that pommel horse thing you gotta jump? They didn't even lift weights back then. I feel like they just jumped over things and threw things and did bizarre calisthenics routines with the odd, fucking weirdo. They didn't even have weights that you put onto things. It was just those welded iron bars with the two big balls on the side. And those oversized fucking stuffed medicine balls that you probably found in your grandfather's basement, smelled like aftershave in fucking World War II. But I feel like I could work in one of those gyms, no problem. Again, as a masculine, fit guy, spent a lot of time on my feet. I could probably be a great mustachioed cop. I'm not Irish, so I don't know if the Italians are now. Cops are all fucking. Your cop layout these days is Italian, Irish, Black, and Latino. But I don't know if non-Irish were allowed in law enforcement in 1918, so that might have been out. But I think I could have pulled off a reasonably lucrative career in organized crime. Excuse me a second while I unfuck my notes here. Sorry, I'm a little slow this morning. I had a shit night of sleep last night, so I woke up and decided to listen to podcasts and smoke pot until I could fall asleep. But I guess as an Italian guy, I'd either have to work one of those grocery carts or sell fucking olive oil like Jenko in Godfather until the local mafia chieftain tried to muscle me out of business, and then I'd have to go and join the mob, the Black Hand, be running numbers, working the docks. I'm not a really good sales guy, so I probably would have sucked at selling olive oil anyway. But again, I know how to handle a piece. I stay strapped. Well, I don't stay strapped. I don't carry a gun anymore, but I have carried a weapon, so I could do that. I could have done hits for the old timey mob. You get those fucking hip fired Tommy guns, and you pump some guy's Model T full of fucking bullets, and you kill him and the hooker that he's driving around with. Oh, what a good time to be alive. It was 1918. I feel like the flappers were just about to really come in vogue. You could still just hurl ethnic slurs with immunity. Straight white males were getting away with literally fucking murder back then. There was this guy, Howard Holmes. People trusted straight white males so well that this guy was able to construct a massive death house next to where they had the World's Fair in Chicago, and he'd finish a section of it, and then he'd kill the guys who worked on it so that they couldn't tell anyone about what was going on in the house, and then he used it to fucking off all of these broads that worked for him. I mean, if that was going on now, this is like some Weinstein level shit, except instead of jerking off into a potted plant, he was suffocating them to death and experimenting on their bodies. But, I mean, no one suspected the guy for shit until, way after he had done all this stuff. You could really get away with some fuckery back then as a straight white male. What a great time to be alive. Unfortunately, also, I feel like a very stinky time. Hygiene was just kind of becoming a thing. I feel like hygiene at that time it was like they took, talcum powder and were like, oh, this is the best we can do scent-wise. We'll throw some jasmine in there. Try to spruce it up for you. But I'm going to be honest, you're all walking around smelling like shit. We haven't quite figured out deodorant yet. We don't have the chemicals. I'm sorry. And then you figure they're burning a lot of coal. There's all that soot in the air. Fucking, it says the height of immigration, so you got people, the stinkiest people from all over the world coming to move into your country. If you were coming from Ireland, you weren't fucking flying coach on Aer Lingus to get to the U.S., it was fucking crammed conditions down in steerage coming from all over all over Europe. Just think of how much garlic the fucking Italians cook with. Can you imagine all of those motherfuckers rubbing against each other down there for a fucking 2-month voyage across the Atlantic, and then they show up and they live in these cramped fucking tenements with no running water. They're never showering, and the best they can do is a little bit of fucking gentleman's talc to clean up the fucking stank coming from their bushy ass crotches. Oh, what a putrid time to be alive. Anyway, speaking of putrid bush, this douchebag he writes for the New York Times op-ed page. I didn't even take note of his name here, but let's just call him New York Times douchebag. He wrote, I have to take a piss, and then I'll be back. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me there. Anyway. Yeah, this fucking asshole. His suggestion is if you want better men, we need to it's time to talk about banning porn. Fuck off. Yeah, I think the title of the op-ed, if you're looking for it in the New York Times, was "Let's Ban Porn." Also, I shared that on the Facebook page as well. Most of the shit that you hear me talk about on this show, you can find at facebook.com/thesavagecrew. Anyway, he says, so if you want better men by any standard, there is every reason to regard ubiquitous pornography as an obstacle, and to suspect that between virtual reality and creepy forms of customization, its influence is only likely to get worse. Objection. If fucking virtual reality comes along and you can get some fucking broad with a fat ass to sit on your face without leaving the fucking comfort of your couch or having to either pay her to do it or pay for fucking dinner or put up with her bullshit, you don't think fucking guys, that's gonna prevent guys from going out and doing it. Just be like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm hooking up the fucking, I got a 6-pack of this great IPA, I'm gonna hook up the VR goggles, I'm gonna have a 5-way with a bunch of broads from Brazil with asses the size of a fucking shopping cart, and then, I don't know, maybe a little weed, some pizza, and a good night of sleep. How about you? Oh, yeah, I gotta hang out with the wife and kids. Yeah, no thanks. Fuck, yeah. Fucking VR porn is only going to make the world safer, in my humble opinion. But let's see what else this jackass has to say. Unlike many structural forces with which moralists of the left and right contend, porn is also just a product, something made and distributed and sold, and therefore subject to regulation and restriction if we so desire. This is and this is why when people tell you you don't fucking trust people from the hard left, they want to regulate the fuck out of everything. It's shit like this. Once, this First Amendment stuff here, free speech stuff, once you say that you can ban anything, any form of speech or expression, now we can find justification to ban the rest. This is why we don't put shit like this in the hands of fucking government, you fucking dipshit. Yet for all this, I'm gonna get to this, I'll get more on that in a second, because this fucking asshole. But yeah, and this is why you will not see me voting for many Democrats, because it's shit like this. They don't want a free society. They want a society where the government decides for you, but they want it on their terms. The belief that it should not be restricted is a mistake. The belief that it cannot be censored is a superstition. Law and jurisprudence changed once and can change again. And while you can find anything somewhere on the internet, making hardcore porn something to be quested after in dark corners would dramatically reduce its pedagogical, what a fucking dickhead. This is the other problem in the New York Times. They use asshole words. It's cultural normalcy. It's power over libidos everywhere. Yeah, power over libido. I will fully admit it has a bit of power over mine. I fucking jerked it to a fucking MILF teen 3-way not 25 minutes ago. Absolute delight. Anyway, that we cannot imagine such censorship is part of our larger inability to imagine any escape from the online world's immersive power, even as we harbor growing doubts about its influence upon our psyches. First of all, this fucking dipshit. He could use... This guy needs to go jerk off. He might relax him a little bit. Porn, I think, overall, is a good thing. It's allowed people to be more sexually expressive. We're not pent up like back in the 1950s when there was all this when it was just, hey, I got a big bush, you got a big bush, let's get married just so we can combine our big bushes and then have a miserable life of sometimes sex with the lights off under the covers after the kids go to sleep for the next few decades. We don't have that anymore. People realize, like, oh, I'm a human being, I have a natural desire to fuck, I want to fuck that person, but I don't want to spend the next 80 years with them. I can fuck them. And it's cool. Like, that's part of the thing porn's done for people. And first of all, porn can be incredibly empowering to women. It provides jobs. There are a number of female-driven studios. So Sweetheart Video, Philly Films, Girls Way, just rattling off the top of my head, studios that I'm almost positive are pretty much all female-run. They make porn. They make for her porn now, which is it'd be hard to find for her porn that is demeaning to women. Now, a character in a for her porn may be a woman and may become demeaned during that film, but if that is by choice, then that is by definition empowering. Some people enjoy being demeaned. There are videos out there featuring men being demeaned, getting fucked in the ass with strap-ons, getting fucking she-male cock jammed down their throats, getting fucking spanked and called little sissies and little sluts and little faggots. I mean, porn can be demeaning to anyone if you're into demeaning porn, but there's a lot of other porn out there that isn't demeaning, and there are women who make a good living doing porn. It kickstarts their careers into other things. Porn has gone mainstream. Porn is now, if you do porn right, you can become a mainstream success in a lot of other ways. So it's a very short-sighted, and I bet this guy describes himself as a feminist. I bet that's how he discusses himself in casual conversation. And to get back what I was saying about the left, because this is very typical of the virtue signaling left. And they will call Donald Trump a fascist. They will call him a fascist at every turn, because he mocks the media and he cracks an odd joke or two about, well, maybe we should get rid of CNN. What do you think? I don't know. Probably people telling me we should get rid of CNN. I don't know. What do you think? Do we need it, folks? Do we need CNN? Fake news, folks. Fake news. But he's kind of fucking around and trolling. This is a very seriously written op-ed, and this guy seems to be coming from a place of great sincerity when he says that porn should be banned and that we should consider a form of censorship. And part of the American experience is that we can see and hear anything. Being free means to choose. You do not want to put the government in charge of what you can and can't access, right? And these guys were going nuts about this net neutrality thing. Oh, hey, watch out! If they repeal net neutrality, the first thing that's going to happen is the internet service providers are going to determine what you can and can't see on the internet, what you can and what sites you can access, what you can say. And here, this guy is arguing for exactly that. He wants the government to come in and tell you what you can put onto or access on the internet. This is why these people are full of fucking shit. It's fucking exhausting. And they do it from this place of wanting to help. They want to do good. They want to save you from yourself. I don't need to be fucking saved from myself. Strong chicks don't need to be saved from themselves. You know who needs to be saved? Fucking cucks and fucking weak women. If you're a woman and you're out there hashtagging Galentine's Day, you need to be saved. if you're a guy out there and you're hashtagging, this is why I need feminism, you probably need to be saved. If you're using the hashtag boycott Peter Rabbit, you're probably beyond saving. But someone needs to come save you. Just exhausting, the stupidity. And I know some of these people who buy into this very well. And by and large, they're good people. Like, they're not bad people. Honest, the unfortunate thing is that so much of it comes from a well-intentioned place, but it's just so fucking dumb. This guy really, he should have jerked off to some good old-fashioned stroke vids before he penned this op-ed. Might have come out a little more coherently. Fucking idiot. In other fuckery from the New York Times, as I told you before, little article. We've got Gary on the line. As you know, Gary's a regular contributor to the Savage Sacktap, old friend of mine, and we're talking about this article. A woman was, I guess, snooping around on her boyfriend's phone because women are sneaky ass bitches, and she found out that he had been messaging other dudes in gay chat forums, which does not bode well for the relationship. Or so it appears, but she wrote to the New York Times for advice because, hey, who knows more about going on the internet to find cock to suck than the editorial staff at the New York Times? But anyway, Gary, how the hell are you? Thank you for calling in, my friend.
Not bad. It's been a long day. Lisa had her baby shower today.
Did you have to go to the shower, or were you just kind of chauffeuring around?
No, I mean, she drove herself. I had to go at the end to load up all the gifts in the car and all that crap.
Right on. I had to go to a baby shower once. Absolutely terrible. I had to fucking stand through them opening every single one of the fucking presents. Oh, it was terrible.
Jeez, that must have been awful.
Yeah, it was. Actually, yeah, it was.
I'm having a hard time with my own kid.
Yeah.
Sitting there, like, zoning out, like, opening up, like, onesies. I'm just like...
Oh, it fucking sucks. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, we were at the grocery store before. It was a fucking nightmare. I think everyone's retarded.
Oh yeah, well, in general, yes, that's pretty true across the board.
People moving around the aisles, they seem like fucking demented and like lobotomized. Like I feel like everyone is just so fucking mentally slow.
Was it crowded because of the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to snow too.
Is it supposed to snow tomorrow?
I think so. I think I read somewhere that we might get a few inches.
No shit. All right.
Yeah.
Are you on? Did you go to speakerphone? All right. So, did you see that New York Times thing I sent you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How fucking for the benefit of those who haven't seen it, I'll read it and feel free to interject. It's like a 3-paragraph letter that some broad wrote to the New York Times, but so feel free to interject at any point, and then we'll just we'll give our hot takes, and then I'll let you go, and we can get on with our Saturday nights here, Gary. This is my boyfriend and I have been in a monogamous relationship. I guess she thinks it's monogamous for over a year. Recently, I snooped his phone and learned that he'd been on a site where men solicit men for sex. My boyfriend answered one of the ads in graphic terms that he's never used with me. It didn't look as if anything transpired beyond that, yet I feel stuck. First of all, her boyfriend has definitely sucked a cock, right?
That, or I think he's just very, as they call it, bi-curious, or he's just gay.
I feel like
living a lie.
If he's using the hardcore terms, I just have to lean towards him having actually like sucked off a dude at some point.
I mean, he could be one of those dudes that just like, he's afraid to come out, so he's like in a relationship with a woman.
He just likes to talk naughty on the internet.
Yeah, he's like Vito Spatafor. That's
it's a joke.
The lie. Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I didn't confront him, but I talked to him about sexuality and told him how normal it was to fantasize. He asked me if I was trying to tell him that I was bisexual. I said that I only wanted to be with him, and he said he felt the same way. Again, he's full of shit. He was so at ease during our conversation that I believed him, but I'm terrified that he's unable to tell me because he's buried it. I'm afraid he'll go farther and cheat on me. I'm afraid he wants to be with men, though I know that looking at a sight such as this doesn't make him gay or even bisexual. I don't want to lose him. I'd rather love him through this than be without him. We all have sexual fantasies, right? It just, the denial sounds so hard. You pretty much caught him fucking pink-handed here.
Yeah. I mean, what more do you have to say? You know, your boyfriend is going onto gay dating websites looking for, like, pretty much glory hole sex with random guys.
Yeah, he wants to feel the love of a man in a truck stop bathroom. And she says, I know you're thinking I should talk to him, but I can't. I don't think he's ready to face it. And I'm not ready to admit my snooping. Yeah, sneaky ass bitch. I guess that's why you don't snoop, because you find out that the guy you're sleeping with fantasizes about sucking cock on the side. She learned her lesson.
Yeah.
I've decided all I can do is keep the lines of communication open. I want him to feel comfortable, and I also want him to know that he can be honest with me. He's a good man with a great heart. Is it normal to have sexual fantasies about things we have no intention? She is really, really hoping that her boyfriend doesn't actually want to suck dicks. How else can I walk through this with him? Is it okay for me to be patient, keep the communication open, and trust him, or are we doomed? Well, I mean, my advice would be to get herself a fucking AIDS test and a box of fucking what do they call it? PrEP? Is that the medic? I think there's this shit that I think if you're having like loose ass gay sex, you're supposed to take it so it'll help improve your immune system so you don't catch the HIV.
Oh, I never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's called the short term for it is PrEP. I'm not sure what the actual full name is, but yeah, Jimmy Norton talks about it all the time. He's always like, yeah, I've been having a lot of sex lately, so I've been taking PrEP just to be sure. Gary, what would your advice for this young woman be? I mean, she's a New York Times reader, so there is a chance that she doesn't mind dating some sort of bi-curious twink.
I mean, to me, she kind of almost sounds like. I've been watching. I don't know if you watch the show Shameless on Showtime.
I think Kim gets into it once in a while. I've caught an episode. Is that with what's his name?
William H. Macy.
Yeah, Little Bill.
Yeah, Little Bill. But a big theme in that is with one of the kids in the show is now known as Gay Jesus, and he's like standing up for kids that the parents are like forcing them into like those conversion churches.
Is he the one that like he was like fucking some guy in the convenience store?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you've obviously seen some parts of it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes.
But yeah, this girl reminds me of like these parents who like know that their kid is gay or lesbian and like hoping that some divine force will change
just gonna come.
They're just gonna come around,
come down and undo the gay.
Yeah, exactly. And, I'm sure it's gonna be hard for her, but I hope someone just shakes her and says, "It's over, hon." You know, this dude wants dick.
Yeah,
he doesn't want you.
Yeah. Here's the thing: like, if Lisa tells me, she's like, yeah, I found Dave messaging some fucking guys like talking dirty as fuck on a gay sex website. My thought with like you, or if I heard Joey was doing it, I'd be like, oh, this is some sort of elaborate fucking internet prank that these jackasses are pulling. Like, I mean, we have certainly not been immune to such shenanigans. Lemon Party was our big one. We used to send around that picture of that big dick motherfucker Jerome.
I still can't find that picture. It really is. Dude, that's difficult for me to accept that I'm never going to find that picture again.
That has to be in contention for one of the biggest cocks ever photographed.
It was known as Jerome JPEG, and I can't find it. It's gone.
If you're out there, if you're listening, if you can find this picture of this well-hung black man named Jerome, he's like out in the woods with some fucking white, it's like a white chick that he's literally resting his cock against her face to compare how big it is not like relative to the size of her mouth, relative to the size of her head. It's fucking enormous. It goes like down to his knee. It's just the biggest dick I've ever seen. I have, between college football locker rooms and the Marine Corps, I've seen a fucking dong or two, but this thing was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I hear one of you guys, I assume it's something like that. But like, if you're dating someone who reads the New York Times enough that she's willing to write a letter to the fucking editors for advice, then I have to assume that your forays into gay porn are less prank related and more, oh, I want to fuck dudes related. That being the case, I have found there are like 3 things that she could do. She could let him know that she knows and just break it off, right? That's going to happen. He's probably going to go into a tailspin of drinking and drug use after that, and eventually wind up fucking a bunch of dudes. And in 3 months, she's going to run into him and his new friend Roy standing in the smoothie line at fucking Equinox. You got something, Gary?
No. I just happened. It was just an old Gold's Gym thing.
Yeah.
And just somebody with that name and somebody else that we both know losing it on said person because he was apparently staring at his ass while he worked out. And so that person now refers to him as Gay Roy. So. So it's just coincidence you use that name.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Him and his old pal Roy.
Yeah.
Celtic.
Oh my, yeah.
I guess in theory, she could also tell him that he can just go fuck all the dudes that he wants, but he's got to let her in on it. Which, if she's a freak, it opens the door for all sorts of MMF fun, right? He could do cream pies, cucking, team blowjobs. You could buy a strap on, and they could spit roast him. They track down some well-hung art student from Bed-Stuy, and there are really endless possibilities for the young couple.
If he's like going on these hardcore gay sites, like how many of those dudes are actually going to be open to that?
I mean, well, that's where he's having the chats now. But if she was like, look, hey, if you're into dicks, we're a couple liberals living in New York City. It shouldn't be too hard for us to find a third who wants to join the party. I like you. I want to stay with you. What say we make a thing of this? And the next thing you know, they're on. There actually is there's a dating app for three-ways. It's called Thrinder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so let's say they don't jump on there and just make their Saturday nights from now on. It's just the two of them double-teaming bi-curious college boys from NYU.
There you go, yeah.
So it could, in fact, strengthen the relationship.
Yes, very true.
And then I guess the final option is to just say nothing and continue. I'm assuming their sex life is probably of the very mundane, under the covers, lights off, probably not great frequency, not a lot of good shit going on, and eventually, after work one day, he's gonna find his way to a leather bar with some guy that he met on Adult Friend Finder, and he's just gonna, if he's messaging guys already on a site like this, I think we have to assume that it's only a matter of time before he, goes all in and fucking jumps on a cock. And then, if she doesn't make it known that she knows, she could, in theory, be the unwitting recipient of an HIV infection.
That's true.
And
yeah,
if carried to its farthest logical extreme, they get married and have a baby. His gay deviance on the side, if not done with a condom, could result in a fucking AIDS baby.
Yeah, that worst case scenario. Yeah, that's pretty bad shit.
That is a nasty spot to be in.
From my perspective, if this girl is that much of a loser that she's writing into a New York Times on relationship advice, chances are she's not going to be open to any of the crazy shit that you mentioned.
You don't think?
No, she's going to do option 3. She's going to just try to ride this out and think that his gayness is going to go away. Just because he's a nice guy.
You don't think, and because you got to assume she's probably a fucking Hillary voter, that she would sort of take some sort of perverse joy in buying like a strap-on and pegging this guy while he sucks some dude off to kind of kind of really throw it back in the patriarchy's face?
If she was that type, she wouldn't have been writing in.
You think she would have just strapped up already
Yeah,
and been like, come here, motherfucker?
Yeah, they would have been right now, Upper East Side apartment, doing that with some fucking Hispanic guy. Yeah.
Yeah, with fucking with Carlos from
Carlos,
Spanish Harlem.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
MS 13 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this girl's lost. She doesn't want to accept that this dude that she's with is very gay and wants to be with men.
In that case, when the split comes, and I have to assume that it will, she's probably going to catch some, like, on the rebound, she's probably going to be looking for some real fucking meat. Yeah,
and I feel bad for her dad, because chances are she's probably introduced this guy to her parents, and seems like a nice enough guy. When she goes on the rebound, it's going to be with some it's going to be some dicey shit.
Jamal and Tyrone are going to have their way with that ass.
She's going BBC all the way.
Yeah, big time. All right, Gary. Thank you for checking in with us.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
We value your input on such deviant matters.
Yes, I love being brought in for the most fucked up shit you can think of.
Yeah, fucking gay boyfriends and cuck fetishes. You are,
yeah.
Well, it's like CNN has, again, Fox News. They have their kind of like guys they go to for every subject. You're the Savage Crew's talking head for anything that involves a guy sucking cum out of his girlfriend's pussy.
I'm just honored.
All right, Gary. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, dude.
Talk to you later. See
ya. All right, cool. And before we wrap things up today, like I teased earlier, I did do a little bit about the Aziz shit for the guys over at the Goonery, and whatchamacallit. So what I did was, you go on Facebook. You can see I did a video, like the first 5 minutes of it, so you can check out the video, and I go off about some other shit, Chief Wahoo, and a number of fucking things. But videos on Facebook with a link to the full clip, and I'll tease you with a few minutes here before we wrap things up. All right, so continuing. Anyway, this whole thing sort of set off an intergenerational catfight. There's this reporter Ashley Banfield and a slew of op-eds pretty much appearing everywhere you can imagine. Everyone has been weighing in on this fucking thing, but a lot of women have been coming out and saying, older women, I'm 30, fuck old am I? 32, right? I'm not 33 yet. I will be turning 33. Anyway, a lot of sort of Generation X women coming out and saying, like, hey, this isn't assault. Like, Aziz is essentially guilty of being shitty at reading body language and being terrible at sex, is what the Gen X women are saying. And the sort of more millennial women, and I guess, are we past the millennials yet? I don't fucking know. But the younger women, particularly millennials, seem to be... completely fucked up my train of thought. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So fucking millennials are saying, well, if him not being able to read the body language, that is assault. Like, fucking body language is part of consent now, I guess. Everything revolves back to consent. Anyway, this chick I think she's from HLN, Ashley Banfield, who's like a legit reporter. She's been fucking combat zones, like 9/11, all that shit. Like, she's actually a journalist. Was like, hey, if you guys start calling, she's like, first of all, this is a sloppy ass piece of journalism. Secondly, if you keep calling everything rape, it kind of delegitimizes actual rape. So could you not do that, because you're gonna fuck things up for everybody else. The chick who wrote the article for Babe.net fired back and like called her like ugly and criticized how she dressed and shit. It was very like. Almost seemed very anti-feminist, because I thought the entire point of feminism is sort of prop women up, and here she is attacking a woman over her appearance. So on one hand, she's writing this hit piece against Aziz and portraying herself as some sort of a feminist hero, and in the next step, she's slamming an older woman for her age and looks. The woman who is so far more accomplished in this profession than she is, that she would even deign to is absurd. Nevertheless, as Banfield and I think Barry Weiss wrote a bunch about this for the New York Times. She's one of the few people writing for the New York Times isn't a complete fucking lunatic. Christina Hoff Sommers, and a lot of people have sort of weighed in on this, all with sort of the same opinion. Aziz Ansari blows at sex and doesn't know how to read your body language, and if you don't want to have sex with Aziz Ansari, the best way to avoid having sex with Aziz is to tell him that you would like to not have sex with him, and that he would then not attempt to have sex with you. That's the fucking point that they've been trying to make, is that he's not a mind reader. No one's a fucking mind reader, all right? You can't throw these fucking baseless claims out there from one woman's account. Clearly her account of the evening differs wildly from Aziz's, but now her account is out there, and it makes it difficult. You want my personal opinion on Aziz's fucking comedy? I think it blows. I think he's annoying. I think if I ran into him at a bar, I'd probably want to punch him in the dick. But that doesn't mean he should be dragged through the fucking mud over as a fucking rapist or a sexual predator because he's an awkward fuck who doesn't know how to read body language. There are different levels of human interaction, and things like rape and sexual assault, those are acts of violence, right? Someone really forcing you to do something is completely different than a guy misinterpreting your signals, and that's different than a guy slapping your ass at the bar, which is different than a crackhead jerking off in front of you on the 7 train. There's just every one of these forms of human interaction are different experiences. You treat them all the same just because they have this sort of common sexual element is absurd. It's I don't know if Puritan or Victorian or just imagine old white people who are afraid of genitals, and those are the kind of societies where you would assume that this kind of attitude would be prevalent, not in progressive feminist 2018 modern coastal liberal America, right? You would think we'd have a more libertine attitude towards human sexual interaction, and that's what Matt Damon said that, and he got fucking raked over the fucking coals. He was just like, yo, it's not, there's the fucking wide scale between slapping an ass cheek and fucking holding someone down and violently raping them. You don't have to be a fucking genius to understand that. Anyway. Right on. Appreciate you guys sticking around to check that out. You can once again find us on social media. You can find the video and link to the full download on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/thesavagecrew, and you can catch me on Twitter at Mike Montone, and we're also on Instagram at Gary_Moiler. Hey, if you enjoy what you're hearing here, just do me a favor. Share it with a friend. Share it with 3 friends. Share it with 5 friends. Share it on your Facebook page. Share it somewhere. We could really use the downloads, the listenership. Tag us. Jump on the Facebook page. Jump into the comments section. A lot of fun and shit talking and everything going on there. So thanks again for listening, and I will catch you on the flip side.